The biggest sale of the year is happening now at Big O Tires. Buy 2 tires, get 2 free on select tires in stock. That's 2 free tires when you buy an alignment and tire protection package. That's 50% off tires at Big O Tires. It's going on now, but it all ends soon. Buy 2 tires, get 2 free at all participating Big O Tires. Installation additional, plus shop fee of up to 10% of non-discounted retail price, not to exceed $35. Hurry, sale ends Monday, December 23rd.
The Chiefs played one of their best games of the season in a 23-3 victory over the Denver Broncos on Sunday at Arrowhead Stadium. There was more of the same. The Chiefs beat the Broncos for the 9th straight time, and there was something different. It snowed like crazy. The stuff started falling early in the morning. It didn't stop until about 3 hours after the game. I have never seen so much nonstop snow for a Chiefs home game. So, of course, we talked about it on Facebook Live after the game, and now a SportsBeat KC presented by Big O Tires. It's Monday, December 16th, and I'm your host, Blair Kirchhoff. Herbie Teope, Sam McDowell, Sam Mellinger, and Vahe Gregorian gathered to break down the game and respond to viewers' questions and comments. Thanks to Beth Welsh for producing the Facebook Live and to Derek Donovan for putting together the podcast. Links to our stories can be found in the show notes on the Red Zone Extra app and on kansascity.com. We'll be back on Tuesday for another SportsBeat KC podcast where we talk sports in Kansas City every day. You're looking live at a snowy Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Tribute to Brent Musburger calling his last game today at the Oakland Coliseum. But no, you're at Facebook Live, Red Zone Extra, here at the Arrowhead Stadium press box, where it's warm in here. But man, if you were sitting outside today, God bless you. God bless you. I've never seen as much snow in a fall during a day, not just a game, but a day in Kansas City as we saw today. So we're going to talk about that, the Chiefs win over the Denver Broncos, with Sam McDowell, Herbie Teope, Sam Mellinger, and Vahe Gregorian will be with us whenever Vahe shows up. He's on Vahe time.
No promises.
No promises indeed. So 23-3, the Chiefs beat the Broncos. They had already clinched the division the previous week. So there was a chance for a little bit of a letdown with the post-Patriots victory. It certainly bit the Houston Texans the previous week, but no such letdown today, Herbie.
Yeah, and then leading up to this game, a lot of players I spoke to in the locker room this past week have all said the same thing. They're fully aware of what happened to the Texans and that letdown, and they emphatically said this not going to happen to us. And they came out here and basically they punched the Denver Broncos in the mouth. To me, what was so impressive about this game was, given the snowy conditions, usually you think immediately run-heavy game. Not with the Chiefs today. Patrick Mahomes, 340 yards passing, 2 touchdowns in blizzard-like conditions, and the Chiefs really made a statement that we're rolling into the postseason here, and you got another strong defensive showing, held the Broncos to 3 points, and to me, it was a very fantastic game overall for the Chiefs.
Heck yeah, it was. Hey, let us know what you want to talk about. Questions, comments here through Facebook Live. Jason says he can't hear us. I'm hoping that, Beth gives us a thumbs up that we're good on sound. So,
if it's just Herbie drowned out, I think we're okay.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Bradley. Appreciate the info. So, send us your questions, comments. We'll get to as many of them as we can. What did you guys think driving in today and how the game would unfold because of the weather?
Well, I was a little frustrated by the condition of the roads this morning. It didn't seem like the roads near my place had been treated because I live on the poor Missouri side. I know all you guys are on the Kansas side. But I certainly, to echo what Herbie said, thought that it would affect the passing game more than it did. Mahomes said something interesting in his press conference, though, that he thought the first time he played in snow, which was last year against the Colts in the playoffs, he expected the ball to be slick, but it actually created like a sticky feeling for him. So he actually thought he was able to throw the ball, grip it a little bit better, which is unusual. So he said coming into today, he remembered that performance last year and was pretty confident coming in.
Harrison Butker said the same thing. That having the experience of playing the Colts in the playoff last year helped them be ready for today. And he said the other key for him, he hit 3 field goals, including a 44-yarder the last play of the first half, was the fact that they played in conditions in which they warmed up in. The conditions didn't change from warm-up to game, and he said that was important for him. Scooter, how you doing, man? Good to hear from you. Sam, what'd you think? Look, you were the last one here, so you saw the city more covered in snow than any of us.
I was passed down, is it Little Blue Parkway or Swope Parkway or whatever? I was passed by a car whose back wheels were locked, and he was just sliding down the road, and that guy passed me. I hear this honk, 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 and I'm okay, let me get over, just switch lanes here real quick. I was going, we have 4-wheel drive. I was going 25 miles an hour at the most. It was the difference. And when I was leaving, one of my kids was like, "They're going to play in the snow. Like, this is amazing." I was like, "There's not going to be snow on the field, because they got a heated field. It melts all the snow. It's like a buzzkill, And there was snow. Like they couldn't keep it off. And the snowflakes are the size of freaking Frisbees, So you understand why the field kind of got overwhelmed. The difference, I guess the thing that I was the most surprised about the actual football was you can throw in the snow. Like you can throw in weather, but a lot of times I feel like it's short stuff,
Yep.
And Mahomes was throwing the ball like it was 70 degrees and we were in L.A., there was the degree of difficulty throws he was still doing. That one that was off this back foot that still had the velocity to Hardman on that out route. Obviously threw a ton to Kelce. It just didn't seem like they adjusted at all for the weather, which if it didn't work out, we'd be wondering why they didn't, right? But he just cut through it. It was amazing. I've never seen that before.
Hey to Kathy, and Kyle Coffey says sharpest Pat in the offensive looked in a long time. I think he's right. At least in the last month. And they've won 4 in a row, and the first game back from the injury was the Tennessee game, which they lost. And he was good that day with 440 passing yards. But the next 3 games, there was just something out of sync. And Andy hates that word for some reason. Andy Reid, out of sync. Don't tell him the offense is out of sync because he won't buy it. But that's what it was. There was something with this offense. And Pat addressed it this week, kind of happy feet and backpedaling out of trouble, that sort of thing. He stayed in the pocket more today, and I thought it was reflected in his numbers in his game. 27 of 34 in the snow.
It's like 80% almost, 79.4, something like that. But we saw it like right away, too. That throw to Tyreek on the first touchdown of the game, he stepped into the pocket into pressure, which he's done even during these like quote-unquote struggles. And like Patrick Mahomes is having the second best season that a quarterback has ever had for the Chiefs. But even in these like quote-unquote struggles, that he's done that sometimes, but not consistently. And I don't remember watching live. I thought there was one time he bailed a clean pocket, but I think his rider got beat on a stunt on the inside. I don't know that he bailed the pocket one time. When he didn't need to. There was just a remarkable difference from what we've seen the last few weeks.
And I thought another key today for his success were there weren't drops today. Receivers were holding onto the ball, and everybody. And the biggest target of the day, and the happiest person among our coverage team is sitting to my immediate right because he had the story already written before the game, and that's. Travis Kelce had a great game, didn't he, Herbie?
Had it written before last week's game, too. Yeah, Kelce, 142 yards receiving. He entered this game needing just 11 yards to record a 4th straight 1,000-yard receiving season for a tight end, which is a record. And then on top of that, he set another record for the most receiving yards for a player, for a tight end through his first 7 seasons. A historic day for Travis Kelce, for sure. And he had a monster game, 11 catches, 142 yards. On 13 targets. That's a lot. And I know you found a statistic, Sam, that you sent to me that.
Yeah, let me.
You got to pull that up.
Let me make sure I get this right. It is. Pro Football Reference. They have this play index where you can look up all kinds of. It's not quite Elias Sports Bureau, but it's the closest thing I have. All right, 11 catches, 142 yards. In the last 10 seasons, that's as far back as I went. A tight end has matched those numbers just 6 times. Kelce is 3 of them. And the other three, it was, if I remember right, it was Witten, Tony Gonzalez, and I think Zach Ertz. That's it.
The Broncos played into the Chiefs' hands, I thought, today. And Fangio got into somebody asked him a little bit about their defensive scheme after the game, and he didn't expand on it a lot, but they tried to take away Tyreek Hill today by doubling him and just one-on-one with Travis Kelce. And I don't know why you would leave Travis Kelce one-on-one because the Chiefs are going to go to him constantly, but especially in the snow, to try and take away the deep threat was bizarre to me. And by the way, it didn't work because Tyreek Hill still scored on the first drive of the game and had 2 touchdowns in the game. But to me, I don't think it's a real sound defensive strategy to leave Travis Kelce one-on-one. And the Chiefs exploited it 4 quarters.
The way it was explained to me by a couple different people was that it wasn't necessarily like doubling Tyreek as much as playing a lot of zone and cheating to that side, which leaves Kelce kind of, one-on-one on the backside. And I feel like it's almost just written in their playbook. If you see Kelce one-on-one with no help, that's where you throw the ball.
That's where it's going. I mean, that's the recognition. So Chris Hill wants to know if field goals in the red zone are still a concern.
Yeah.
They got to the 5 twice in the first half and settled for field goals. How much did the weather play into that, though, today?
Also penalties, and that's the thing that's sort of been killing them in the red zone. I'd still like to see the replay because we never got a good look at the Darwin Thompson blindside block that took them out of the red zone late in the first half.
Right.
But that obviously killed one of their drives. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's a concern because it's a trend. It wasn't just today that we've seen that. We've seen that throughout the whole season, and usually it's penalty inflicted.
I gave him a little bit of a pass for the red zone issue today just because jet sweep type plays weren't available to the Chiefs. And that's always an option for them at the 5. It's why I turned to you a couple times when the Chiefs got to the 20, and I'm thinking, score here, because it's easier for the Chiefs to score from the 25 than it is from the 5 sometimes, it seems to me. Because once they get to the 10 and the 5, it's, they came into this weekend 21st in the NFL in red zone touchdown percentage.
53%.
53%, right? And they were first or second in the NFL with that last year.
Yeah.
So
they were 1 of 4 today.
Is that what it ended up being? 1 of 4? Yeah, that's right. Because the short touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
How big of a concern would that be?
I think it's a concern because it makes sense that as the field shrinks, their speed matters less. So that's a problem. And as the field shrinks, their inability to run the ball, especially up the middle, matters more. It's I don't know how it's not a concern. You know what I mean? Like it's a better concern than the one would be like, how can we never get to the red zone? Like we can never get in those opportunities. So it's a better problem than that. But yeah, I mean, it's a scoring league, and no matter how much the defense has been improved to beat the best teams, I think you need 7 instead of 3 a lot.
Paul Arrowhead said that Darwin Thompson's penalty was real. I saw it. On the replay, you could see it at the very top of the screen, and you could see a Bronco player flying. It was what a silly thing, and maybe chalk that up to maybe a rookie mistake and not knowing sort of time and space. But that it wiped out a big play, big 30-yard gain for Kelce.
And it's ironic because we've been thinking he's not getting more on the field because he's not blocking. And then he gets called for a blindside block, where apparently, according to Paul here, he laid somebody out. So I'm sure the Chiefs would love to see more of that at the line of scrimmage.
So that's what happened on the offensive side mostly today. I thought the Chiefs actually ran the ball effectively. Spencer Ware picked up some first downs at the end. Look at the Broncos were not going to be part of this game in the second. Once the Chiefs scored that second touchdown, the first one in the second half, that was kind of it, I think, for the Broncos. But Chiefs defense played terrific all day.
Again.
For sure. And Drew Lock came here, and I was on a couple of Denver radio stations this week, and kind of saying, look, we're small town enough in Kansas City to all be happy for Drew Lock, and really cool that a local high school product who went to Mizzou is was off to this kind of start in the NFL, and Chiefs fans probably wish he was in a different division, and so they don't have to see him twice. But he didn't have much of a chance today, did he? I mean, it was just the conditions were bad. The defense he was facing was really good, and it was from the get-go, from the outset, he just was not. He wasn't effective, was he?
Yeah, it's something that I know you touched on when you previewed this game, and I also mentioned it as well. The last two games that the Broncos won came against the Chargers, and of course they ambushed the Texans just completely flat. He hadn't faced this kind of a defense so far in his young NFL career. And to give you an idea of what the Chiefs defense is doing now, in the past 4 games, this is the 4th straight game they have allowed 17 points or less. And in 2 of those games, 10 points or less. They've outscored the Broncos now 53-9 in the 2 games this year. And you want to take it a step further, because I know a lot of Chiefs fans hate the Raiders. They've outscored the Raiders 63-19 in the last 2 games. So Locke is going to have a good career. He just ran into a buzzsaw. He ran against a surging Chiefs defense, and we've talked about this over the last month at every Facebook Live event, that the Chiefs defense is now coming into their own. It's for real.
I think it's a bad matchup for Drew Lock as a rookie, because the Texans last week played almost exclusively man-to-man. They didn't give him a lot of versatile looks. The Chiefs give teams a lot of different looks, and for a guy that's only playing in his 3rd NFL game, I think that's a tough assignment. He threw one touchdown ball, I thought, to Courtland Sutton, and was that late in the first quarter that Tyrann Mathieu just completely ripped out of his hands on a
Yeah. What a great play.
Great play. That was a great ball.
Back shoulder
That was
throw.
a great ball.
Yeah,
that was a back shoulder
It was a
throw.
really good
And
throw.
9 times out of 10, you throw that ball, that should be a touchdown to your top wide receiver. However, he threw a ball that Tyrann Mathieu didn't have to make any play on, and then they called it a flag, and then he threw a ball that Juan Thornhill didn't have to make any play on. So I think right now as a rookie, and we saw a lot of that at Mizzou, where he's got the arm to make any play he wants. It's about making the right decision a lot of times, and those are the things that it's just going to take time with him. I will say the Chiefs players were impressed with Drew Lock today. Even Tyrann Mathieu, unprompted by a question, said he's got an arm and he's confident. He said you can tell by the way he carries himself that he's confident in his throws, and that stuff goes a long way in the NFL.
Coleman, I did say the Chiefs' defense was really good, and I'm standing by it. I'm standing by my declaration that the Chiefs' defense is really good. I mean, it has been for the last month. Well, you wrote about the safeties.
Thornhill and Mathieu. To me, that's what's changed the defense. There's a lot of elements that's better than it was last year, but I think they've changed the defense more often than anything. Which Sam predicted in the preseason that they were going to help the cornerbacks out because they were different, but. Thornhill said that they're now even competing with each other over who makes more plays throughout a game. And I think the way I phrased it in the story was last year you wondered, is anybody going to make a play? And now they're arguing over who's going to make more throughout the game. But we all know that's the strength right now of the Chiefs defense. I'm surprised when I look at the numbers that Phillip Lindsay runs the ball 7 times today.
I was surprised by that too.
4.6 yards a carry. A couple weeks ago, we were talking about Josh Jacobs not getting the ball enough. I don't know why teams aren't running the ball against the Chiefs more. And part of that is because, you look at it, the Chiefs get out to a 15-3 halftime lead, but that's still only a 2-possession game. I think teams have to come in, especially when they come in here in these sort of weather conditions, have to start running the ball more.
And how about on back-to-back plays, Tyrann Mathieu gets an interception that's nullified because of the Charvarius Ward penalty. I think it was good. Somebody asked about the penalty. I thought it was a good call. He grabbed his jersey, and on the next play, Thornhill gets the pick. In the end zone.
Mathieu, who is like probably the most vocal guy out on the field for that defense, maybe, said that he didn't say anything to Juan Thornhill after that play, because he was pissed off it wasn't his interception. So, and Thornhill said he made a specific point to say, I stole that interceptions from you.
Jason Collinsworth with an interesting question. Is Tyrann Mathieu better than Eric Berry in his prime? That's part one of his 2-part question. He had Tyrann Mathieu had a terrific game today.
Really good.
I thought really good, and he's been getting better, progressively better. But I got to tell you, 2015 Eric Berry was as good as I've ever seen that position played.
Was that the pick 2 year and the
No, that
Carolina?
actually was the next year.
Okay.
The 2015 was his first year back from the Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yeah,
2016 was phenomenal too.
Yeah, I don't think any of us watched a ton of Tyrann Mathieu closely, before this season, but he's been terrific. There's no, if he gets on the Pro Bowl, that's well deserved, all that stuff. But Eric Berry's had some years better than this, I think, and that's again no insult. Tyrann's been great.
Eric Berry's also a 2-time All-Pro, and this is Tyrann Mathieu's 3rd team, and usually you start wondering why are players traveling around if you're an elite player. And I'm not saying the Honey Badger isn't elite, but I agree with Sam here. I don't believe he's at Eric Berry's level, and a lot of us have watched Eric Berry over the years from being around the team. I don't think he's at that level yet.
Tell you what, though, the Honey Badger's the right guy for this team.
Oh my gosh.
Right guy right now.
For this defense, too. Absolutely.
For this defense. And part 2 of Jason's question, is Travis Kelce better than Tony Gonzalez?
I think Tony Gonzalez's threat in the red zone is a weapon that Travis Kelce isn't quite to that level of throw it up and go get it. He's really good after the catch, though.
Are we talking Tony Gonzalez for the Falcons or Gonzalez for the Chiefs? I'm kidding. I kid.
The team he loves or the team he hates? How about Tadishi? I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. What are our thoughts on, is it Damone Harris? Damone, is that how I don't know how he pronounces it. Another Veach signing looks good. Harris is the defensive end that's had to play with Alex Okafor out. That's the injury news for today. Alex Okafor going down after the sack of Drew Lock. I didn't see the arm get. Is that what happened?
He got his arm caught underneath Drew Lock. So when Drew Lock rolled towards him, Okafor continued to roll as well, but his arm did not. And it looked like to me that his pectoral muscle got stretched there.
Yeah, and Andy Reid did say it was a pec muscle or it was a pec injury, and of course he'll get that to us on Monday. We'll see Monday.
Well, I hope it's just a pec injury and not a pectoral tear.
Usually not a great sign.
Yeah, but what's concerning though is when a player is immediately ruled out. That's where you start saying, okay, this is serious. If he's questionable to return, and then by halftime they designate him out, then you're like, okay, maybe he could be okay. But immediately after the injury happened, he was ruled out.
Yeah, Kathy Christensen said, but he got up and celebrated. We saw that. And then he went to the sideline, and they looked at him, and he went to the locker room.
Yeah.
He was not with the team in the second half. So let's see. What else we have here? Kathy, and you're right about Tyrann Mathieu, the attitude that he brings. I think that's
They needed that.
Yes, and that's where
And Frank Clark has the same stuff.
Yep.
That same cockiness, arrogance, sort of just confidence of pushing. And it's like it seems to me anyway, it's like an inclusive trait. Tyrann has this athletic arrogance. I can't remember what coach said that about Patrick Mahomes, but I love that term.
Vic Fangio.
It wasn't? Yeah, the first time they played.
Yeah.
Has this athletic arrogance, and so does Frank Clark, but they're inclusive with it. They're pumping their teammates up. They're leading that way to make it, sort of, and that's what they were missing last year so much, that they were wounded mentally, emotionally, that group, especially in the secondary. Those guys had no confidence. You could tell during the week, you could tell after games, the conversations they'd have amongst themselves. I mean, that group was wounded, and I think Tyrann has come in and really been a help in that way.
Speaking of Clark, Blair, I know you chatted with him after the game, a guy that's practiced once in the last 2 weeks with his stomach issues.
Yeah, so that stomach ailment, what a sort of a mysterious situation for him for all the problems that he had. He told you after the Tennessee game he'd been playing with a pinched nerve in his neck all year. Yeah. And then he had a shoulder injury and then a stomach, and then the flu and a stomach ailment, and those two weren't necessarily related. It's been one thing after another for him. He's been battling through it. He was really stand up. Did you stick around for him? So you heard him too after the game. I thought he was really good and spoke to. Doctors said he probably shouldn't have started the season, but he got a pick in that first game, as I recall, in Jacksonville. He got an interception, but he was kind of a sluggish player early on. It wasn't, it's like, why aren't we getting more? Because none of us at the time knew what the issue was with him, and why weren't the Chiefs getting more from Frank Clark? But even with the issues that he's had, he didn't have a sack today, but he had a couple of hits. I know he bothered Drew Lock once or twice, and through the injuries and the issues, he's been playing pretty well here the last 6 weeks. I think he's got 6 sacks in 12 games. He missed a couple, but 6 sacks and disruptive. And his presence is going to be all the more important if this Okafor injury is significant. Because now we're just looking at Passanio, Frank Clark, Chris Jones probably moving from the middle to the outside, and Harris is the late acquisition that they picked up off the Ravens practice squad this week. So all of a sudden, without Agba, the defensive end position depth is looking like a little bit of a concern.
Yeah, and that's the position before the season that they had the most depth in.
Yeah.
You know, and we're thinking, man, they might be able to trade one of those guys to get a corner, you know, because that's where they need depth. And, you know, Breland Speaks went down. I mean, so there's, you know, they're potentially down 3 guys at that single position that they expected to contribute.
Okay, so this question has actually been asked and answered, but I wanted to let Herbie take a stab at it.
Uh-oh.
So Chiefs-Bears, is that going to get flexed?
Chiefs-Bears will not be flexed. The NFL came out and said staying put. There were a lot of factors at play here. You know, the Titans obviously lost to the Houston Texans, so they kind of like lost a little luster here for their game against the Saints. Chiefs will stay on primetime TV, and we're thrilled about that.
No, we're not.
Let's take a vote of those who are thrilled about that. All those who are thrilled about the Chiefs playing on prime time next Sunday night signify by raising their hands.
I was ready to chronicle Sam's log of travel that day.
It was going to be great.
Just ready to.
It was gonna be
that
great.
was gonna be my story for the day. Just you
hotel
going in
was
and
true.
out of Chicago,
Yeah.
same day, covering a football game and coming back home.
Felt good, man. I was going to get home by 1 or so.
One-ish, yeah?
Yeah. I would have taken that.
Yes. So, all right, with the results today, especially the Titans-Texans game, what's the playoff scenario for the Chiefs? They're still the 3. Nothing changed with the Chiefs. Still the 3 seed.
Well, as long as the Patriots win, they're going to be stuck in the 3, even if they keep winning. And you know, the Bengals, right? But do you notice that they stopped playing highlights from the Bengals-Patriots?
As soon as the Patriots started like rolling. Yeah, they stopped it.
So there were random cheers at Arrowhead, like between plays. We're all kind of looking around, what's going on? They flashed the Bengals leading the Patriots, I think 10-7.
Yeah.
At one point.
The game that they might lose has always been this week, though. A week from today. They play the Bills, and that one's in Foxborough.
I think that's a Saturday game.
Yeah, it's a Saturday game.
It's in Foxborough.
In Foxborough.
Yeah.
So, but
It's the last best chance.
the Patriots are 0-1 in Foxborough in the last 1 game that we've seen them there, right? And then they play the Jets?
The Jets.
The last game of the year, so
yeah.
it's probably a win.
Aaron Elder wanted to know the extent of Tyreek Hill's injury. What did Andy Reid say about that after the game?
I don't think he did.
He came back to play though.
Yeah, he was back on the field.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
The only 2
he came
injuries that
back.
Andy Reid addressed after the game where it was Okafor's pectoral injury, and also Andrew Wiley suffered an ankle injury as well.
But not Juan Thornhill. He went down. He gave us a scare. You know,
Yeah, his
injury.
interception came after his injury. His collision with Charvarius Ward.
Yep.
Right. Todd Bryan.
Would have lost some money on this one.
Todd Bryan asked and answered. Vahe Gregorian is here. We are thrilled to welcome him.
So Todd thought Vahe was going to play hooky? Is it?
He actually asked that. Where's Vahe?
Yeah, where's Vahe Santa?
I really like that. I didn't like the Santa part quite as much, but I think of it as a generosity of spirit as opposed to aging look. And I just care that you noticed, Todd. Thank you. These guys didn't notice.
Notice what? Oh, look, Vahe's here. What'd you write?
I wrote about Patrick Mahomes. I found it irresistible. And I just thought, of all the weird things, right? A guy who's been basically off kilter for a few weeks, and there's a lot of reasons for that, but finds himself in the snow globe. I mean, it just seems like kind of the latest unfolding chapter in how does this guy still surprise us? And that's how I felt today. And I don't know if I'm sure you guys already discussed Patrick, but I don't think any of us doubted that he still had the magic. I mean, it's not been anything like that, but it hasn't really been, the wow factor these last couple of games. There were some nice moments against the Patriots, of course, but you haven't felt like the offense has been what it was or what it could be. And today you did. I know that, the total still remains 23 points, but they obviously shut it down in the fourth quarter and just decided to grind out the clock. So I think we saw enough in the just the sharpness, the connection, the chemistry, the innovation that we hadn't seen for a while. All of that, maybe summed up a little bit in the 2-point conversion in some ways.
Yeah. We should credit Sam because he picked him as his rubber meets the road pick out of nowhere.
Right out of a hat.
I have to ask this. What is up with your rubber pick meets the road pick? You always follow up with everyone after every game. Who's your pick?
Well, I think I picked Charvarius Ward this week. So. Of all the guys in the secondary, he probably had the worst.
and
game
Sammy
of those
Watkins
guys.
a couple of weeks ago, too.
Who was the correct pick for rubber meets the road today? Probably it really was Travis Kelce, or it was Mahomes.
Who got Kelce the ball?
Mahomes is going to finish with, 20, touchdown pass total in the 20s, right? His 2 today give him 23 for the year, right? He missed 2 games, obviously, 2.5 games. So, statistically, it's going to look a little different than 55,000, which was just otherworldly successful. And so he's going to finish with 27, 28 touchdown passes, which would probably be the 3rd or 4th most in Chiefs history, I guess, right? And clearly less than, he'll be somewhere over 4,000 yards passing. I just think he's not going to be the MVP of the league, not with Lamar Jackson having the season and Russell Wilson having his season. It won't be a repeat year for Patrick Mahomes, but I think his final evaluation is going to be how far this team goes in the postseason. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think that's more than fair to say because most quarterbacks are judged by championships and how far you can take your team into, how deep you can take them into the postseason. Chiefs right now cannot be a one-and-done team. They just can't. I think if anything, it'll ruin what happened this year. I don't. Even though I'll admit, a couple of weeks ago I was telling Blair, this is a one-and-done team. Now, I don't know if that's the case now. I think the win against New England kind of like turned me the other way. But Mahomes is going to be judged how far he takes his team in the postseason.
I think he's been better too. It's a weird thing. He was so freaking good last year. Just near perfection.
Unreasonably good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no reason to expect that type of season.
I think that plus the injuries, not just his, like the ankle, knee, and foot, but the line, everything else. I think that it's created a perception that he's played like almost poorly or mediocre. That this is like, Alex Smith 2.0. And it's not. I think he's been really, really good. He just hasn't been, he's gone from MVP to merely like a top 3 quarterback, something like that in the league.
He shows he's human.
Yeah,
That's what it's showing.
Right.
It's showing he's human.
Yeah, and it took a while, right? It took a while to see that he was human. But, that, and Vahe, you just referenced it, but that 2-point conversion play was straight out of 2018. That was...
Well, I think that's what he was going for on the interception too. One of those 2018 type plays.
Yeah.
And it was just so ill advised because Kelce was open. I saw him flash open, if he had just tilted his head a little bit, he'd have seen an open Kelce. But
one quick thing to add, Blair, to this too, and you guys have said it in as many words in a way, but I think one thing that accounts for the numbers too, and it's kind of a growing phenomenon, is a little strong to say, but a growing thing is that they are starting to play a little bit more complementary football because the nature of the game is 3 units and 2 units, and the way this defense is playing, it's not just simply we have to hope we score 35 and win. It's what's the best way to win, what's the best way to sort of just reel ourselves in and stay on path. Now, it doesn't mean you're not allowed to play great offense, but I do think some of the numbers, there's a definite downshift in some ways in what they're trying to do because of the defense.
You're also missing your running game. And not only are you missing your running game, you're missing running backs that could catch out of the backfield because Kareem Hunt was very good at that, and Damian Williams is really good out of the backfield.
Screen game is his game.
Yeah, and he's good when they line him up on a linebacker as well, and he's been a non-factor this year. He's been either absent from the game or overtaken by LaShawn McCoy unexpectedly early in the season and ineffective. And now, we thought he might play this week, but missed Friday because he was sick, we were told, and out again. And I still think they need him back if they're going to make a deep playoff run.
That's a fascinating point you bring up about the running backs out of the backfield because LaShawn McCoy historically ranks among the league leaders as one of the most versatile running backs in the league. And he hasn't been used in that capacity at all, at least
Not at all.
Since he's been here. I haven't seen him hitting those screen games. When he was with Reed in Atlanta, that was their staple.
Well, the one I remember was against the Colts, and he ended up fumbling it at the after a 25-yard gain or something. It was that was a screen.
That is where speed shows up the most when a running back, though, which is one of the reasons that Damian Williams is good in the passing game. And speed's no longer a strength for McCoy at his age.
Yeah. So Jeremy Thompson and Brian Johnson, you both were asking about Kareem Hunt. Let's do this. Let's save that position breakdown or what the Chiefs have been at that position. We'll go into more detail on Thursday when we meet again on Facebook Live at a Big O Tires somewhere in the metropolitan area. So we're going to wind down just because we need to go home and negotiate the roads out here. I was reading our stuff on the Stars website. 3 to 6 inches maybe today fell, and they're expecting a couple more by tomorrow. So about 8 or 9 inches in Kansas City over the next couple days. So I hope that appreciate everybody joining us here tonight on Facebook Live. Let's finish it up with some final thoughts, and then we'll get out of here. Melly, what have you got to finish this up?
I thought they played their most complete game of the season.
Wow.
Just offense and defense, putting it together. At the beginning of the year, the defense was struggling, the offense was clicking, and then we know what's happened since. And I thought offense and defense played really well. Like that kind of performance. Again, we can nitpick the interception, red zone, stuff like that, but that kind of performance I think is good enough to get to the Super Bowl.
Okay, Herbie, what you got?
What Sam said.
Okay, ditto.
Ditto.
Okay.
I'd say about the same thing. Just I'd add that the number you guys maybe already went over it earlier, but 26-3 now, I guess. Andy Reid against the AFC West since 2015, and I think we said this last week, but I think this is, ever since the bye week, which was just before Thanksgiving or just before the Raiders game. I mean, we're in the stretch run, and the Chiefs have been very impressive in this stretch run, and that's what you want.
Okay. Sam?
To me, it comes down to a little bit of what I wrote about, but in a more general sense, we've found a really good strength of the defense. And when you look at the last 3 weeks, Derek Carr passed for 222 yards against him. Last week, Tom Brady threw like 39 passes and didn't even hit 200. Today, Drew Lock throws the ball 40 times and only throws for 208. So teams cannot figure out a way right now to beat the Chiefs in the air. And again, I still think teams have to run the ball more, but we found a strength of the Chiefs defense, and they had no strengths on this defense last year.
I think you said this earlier that this was a bad matchup for the Broncos, right? It's been a bad matchup for 4.5 years now. 9 straight victories. You talk about the AFC. That's part of the 26-2 record that Andy Reid has against the AFC West. Against the Broncos, 9 in a row. When the AFL started, the Broncos were horrible in the 1960s, just horrible. They were the worst team in the AFL every year, year after year. And the Chiefs ended up winning like 19 of their first 20 games against the Broncos, and that included an 11-game winning streak. Well, since then, the Broncos have had a winning record. Since the merger, really, the Broncos have had a winning record all time against the Chiefs. But if this keeps up, it's just ridiculous what the Chiefs' success against this Denver Broncos team that in my years in Kansas City has been the biggest rival for the Chiefs. The John Elway teams, the Peyton Manning teams, and some teams in between. I just remember thinking, well, Chiefs Broncos. Chiefs probably will lose both of those this year, and see who else they can beat. But they have Andy Reid has mastered this Broncos team, and that's part of the success a big part of the success the Chiefs have had in division play.
Including saying that Drew Lock, it was unfortunate Drew Lock had to play Benedict Arnold and go play for the other team, which Andy went deep in his play calling there with that one. That was fun.
All right, so hey, thank you very much for joining us. Thanks to Beth Welsh who pieces this together and puts all this equipment up and then has to take it down and put it in her car and drive home in the snow. So Beth, thanks a lot. Thank you guys, and we'll talk to you again on Thursday from Big O Tires. Hey, it's Blair. Hey, we have a special subscription offer for SportsBeat KC listeners, unlimited digital access to the Kansas City Star's award-winning sports coverage. Sign up now for 1 year of Sports Pass for access to all the sports news, features, and columns we have to offer. And it's only $30. That's a 40% savings off our regular rate. For your convenience, Your subscription will automatically renew after the initial term at $50 unless you tell us to cancel. A lot of subscription services won't tell you that. They'll just sneak it on there. We just told you. Your subscription helps support the sports coverage of kansascity.com and the Kansas City Star. Please visit kansascity.com/sportsbeatkc offer to get this special offer. And as always, thanks for listening.